Man, oh man, we got some stories today, including Royal Caribbean banning probably one of my favorite cruise items, and Carnival Cruise Line done took away a man's internet. That, plus a whole lot more. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido Loca. I am your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your face. For your face on Friday. Is that I'm a little jet lagged here. Friday the 20th of September, 2024. And yeah, just a few hours ago, I flew back in from Venice, Italy. And boy, are my arms tired. Boom, boom, almost 24 hours of travel, but a pretty uneventful series of travel days. Really nice. Jumped on the airplane yesterday morning at Marco Polo International Airport in Venice. Flew 9.5 hours to Atlanta, Georgia, and then an hour down to Tampa. And I was picked up by the lovely Jenny B and made it home. I started the day yesterday. I got up about 4 a.m. Venice time, and I was probably home by 1 a.m. Venice time. So a really long day. But I tell you what, that flight, the 9.5 hours went quick. I watched 3 movies and 3 TV shows and got it done. I do want to say this. I've never seen the musical Les Miserables, Les Mis. I've never seen that. That's the musical based off the classic literature work of the same name by Victor Hugo. And I saw the movie, and the movie was a few years ago, and it has Hugh Jackman, and it has Russell Crowe, Anne Hathaway, Freddie Highmore, some other folks that are notable, just singing their butts off. But I tell you what, this story was fantastic. I understand why it's a popular musical now. It's always been in the zeitgeist in the, pop culture. But wow, what a great redemption story. And I was moved through the whole thing. So if there's any drama nerds, theater nerds, musical nerds out there, or people that just like a good story that makes you think about redemption and salvation, check that one out. Plus, it was neat to see Wolverine and the Gladiator kind of going at it in song. Who am I? Who am I? Jean Valjean. That was so good, but as much as we'd like to have a full 1-hour discussion on musical theater, we should probably process through some cruise news. Cruise news story number 1. Royal Caribbean has added a new item to their banned item list that I think a lot of people take on board. They've essentially banned extension cords, and then they've banned anything that you can plug into a wall adapter or a wall socket that gives you multiple adapters. And let me show you the thing that I take on every cruise. I'm assuming that this is going to be banned because it gives me multiple plugs. And this is one of my favorite things. This is my Anchor power bank. It's got a cord that plugs into the wall, but it gives you 2 3-prong sockets. And then it also, focus, Daniel-san, focus. Then it also gives you 2 USB-C and 2 USB-A USB ports, and it's a 90-watt adapter, so I can plug my laptop, and it's perfect. I think that that's probably not going to be acceptable on Royal Caribbean cruises anymore. They just added it, citing that it is a fire hazard. I don't know. I guess that makes sense. I don't know what the data is, like how many fires they've had because of extension cords and multi-pronged things. I know the power ecosystem of a cruise ship is delicate, right? They're generating power all the time while they're at sea. And so it's a little different than being jacked into the power grid at home. So, there can be a lot of factors there. But just saying, be careful when you go on a Royal Caribbean cruise. I used to take that 6 USB hub thing that just plugged into the wall. I'll probably try to take one of those on my next Royal cruise just to see if it passes or not. But I usually take an extension cord for my CPAP, so maybe they're going to be handing out extension cords for that. Cruise news story number 2, Carnival Panorama has entered the dry dock in Singapore. This dry dock for Panorama, just part of its ordinary scheduled maintenance. If you know cruise ships at all, they have an interesting life cycle. Of course, they're built, they're deployed, but then from time to time they go in, they get their maintenance checkup, minor things get done. That's the case with Carnival Panorama. The ship will be in dry dock until October the 12th. Then it's going to embark on this fantastical 25-night voyage with stops like in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. It's going to go to Guam, going to go to Manila in the Philippines. Eventually, after those 25 days, it will end up back in California, where Panorama will resume its normal Mexican Riviera sailings. Part and parcel for cruising. Sometimes cruise ships go to the shipyard, get their regularly scheduled maintenance. But what's not part and parcel, at least for my life, is me visiting a shipyard. And certainly that's what I did just a couple days ago. Wow, I cannot begin to describe how amazing it was to see Norwegian Aqua's construction progress. And there was even like a bonus there. In addition to seeing Norwegian Aqua's construction progress, I also saw the very early stages of the new Norwegian Luna. I certainly got to put this whole video, I've got some great footage from the shipyard and really great footage from that whole Italy trip. We went to the islands of Murano and Murano, where they make the famous Murano glass. They've been glass making there for 1100 years. And then a bunch of us went to Venice. I feel like it's yesterday or the day before. A bunch of us went to Venice. And when I say a bunch of us, what a cool trip. I got to meet some of my YouTube heroes. I've been following Sherry from Cruise Tips TV since before I even made videos, and I'd known her virtually, and we got to meet face to face, and it was like meeting an old friend. I got to meet Alana and her husband Frank from Lifewell Cruise. I've known them just a little bit. It was really great to get to hang out with them. Of course, I got to spend some time with my friend Doug Parker. And also, I got to spend some time with Eat Sleep Cruise, Don and Heidi. I've known them for a while, and it was really great to catch up with them again. Plus, I've met a lot of new people. Yeah, I'm so excited, though, because coming up in just a few weeks, a lot of these same folks will be together with us again on the Sun Princess. In addition, we'll be adding my buddy Don to the mix and the lovely Jenny B. So I can't wait. It's a great time. Fantastic trip. I probably have 3 more videos coming out from that trip over the next few days. So if you're looking forward to seeing some Italy footage, that's coming. I do want to mention real quick that the t-shirts, the Monsters of the Lido t-shirts, the ones that are currently out there are retiring. We're approaching Halloween next month. And once Halloween comes and goes, this series of the Monsters of the Lido shirts will go away. So if you want to get yourself Ghost Pirate, Monsters of Lido, if you want to get the Zombie Sailor or Captain Frankie, time is limited. So I'll leave a link to our t-shirt shop below. There's some other cool t-shirts down there. Make sure you grab your Halloween cruising t-shirt while you can. I'm going to come out with a new line of Monsters of the Lido, but this original Series 1 is retiring. So get yours while you can. Now, let's talk about internet. 2 pretty big internet stories for you. One cruise line finishing an internet project and another cruise line taking away some internet. First up, we've got Regent 7 Seas completing their STARLINK internet rollout. All of their ships have STARLINK internet now, and I think most people at this point accept STARLINK as the best option for cruise ship internet. There's 6 ships in Regent 7 Seas, and so if that is your cruise line and you like to use the internet, well, all of the ships now have the STARLINK internet. And then there's a little hubbub going on. I stumbled across a YouTube video that was in my algorithm last night. No Pants Profits. And the host over there, Richard, has a pretty interesting internet tale. He did something that I hadn't heard anybody doing before. He took the new STARLINK Mini internet onto the Carnival Miracle, and I hadn't even seen the STARLINK Mini before. Look at this thing. It's like the receiver is like the size of an album. And fortunately, based on the demographics of this channel, I think most of us know what an album is, but if you don't, it's how us old folks used to listen to music. Of course, vinyl is having a resurgence, but I feel like this STARLINK Mini receiver is about the same size as a cover for an album. So the first video that I see from No Pants Profits, Richard has brought a STARLINK Mini onto the Carnival Miracle, and he does a demo of it right there on the Lido deck. He pops out the receiver and he plops it down right next to the pool. I'm like, oh, I hope that doesn't fall into the pool. And he does a demo and he gets fast internet, faster than what the cruise ship internet is. And it's certainly cheaper than the cruise ship internet. There is a sunk cost into buying the Mini. I don't know if there's a monthly reoccurring fee, but $600 for the device. Cruise ship internet, you can easily rack up a $600 fee. If you cruise a couple times a year and you buy internet, you're gonna pay over $600 for that. But yeah, so he works it out, he tries it out. And then in video number 2, well, things go sour. Richard and his friend at the beginning of the video, he's eating an arepa from the Blue Iguana Cantina. Gotta be one of my favorite breakfast things on a Carnival cruise ship. And his buddy reenact when security came and grabbed Richard and took him to the office, I think of the hotel director, to the naughty office, and they told him, look, we've gotten word from on high, word from the corporate office that we're going to have to confiscate. We're going to have to confiscate your STARLINK Mini. Dun, 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 dun. He goes through the whole process. He shows even the piece of paper where they write. Go watch his videos. I don't want to do him any injustice, but I do. The very interesting 2 videos, including documentation. He got the receipts, as it were. He calls Carnival right out. Carnival CIO Sean Kinney orders confiscation of STARLINK Mini. Carnival referred Richard to the prohibited items list, which does include a line that now says satellite dish. In his video, it said satellite disk. It now says satellite dish, routers, other like internet infrastructure pieces, which for those folks, when they're dealing with multi-device, have talked about bringing a travel router. Seems like it might be prohibited on Carnival, but they pointed him to that section before they straight up took his STARLINK Mini away. It does beg the question, why are those things prohibited? I would assume that the standard line would be they're prohibited because they may interfere with other communication systems on cruise ships. That seems like that could be a reasonable explanation. But then there's a secondary explanation that plays out in my mind as somebody who thinks about business. If someone can bring a less expensive way to use the internet on board the cruise ship, opposed to purchasing the expensive internet on a cruise ship, then I could see a business being against that. The same reason why you can't just bring a whole bar of alcohol with you. They would rather sell you the drink package, and then of course that's also under the auspice of, if we sell you the alcohol, we can monitor the alcohol. There's always multi-layers to this thing, but yeah, I guess STARLINK Mini, a no-go for Carnival cruisers. I guess if there's a silver lining to the whole story, any of these prohibited item stories, most of the time, the item just gets confiscated. It does not result in 20 years of hard labor in a French prison, which apparently is the crime for stealing a little bread for your sister's hungry kid. That's what I know, because who am I? Jean Valjean. I dreamed a dream in time gone by, when hope was full and life worth living. What am I doing here? Man, that Anne Hathaway performance, something special. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. I sure hope you enjoyed it. If you want more, if you want to keep up to date with everything going on in cruising, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, for goodness sakes, and YouTube will give it to you. Thank you for watching the show. Hope you have a fantastic Friday. Hope you have a great weekend. Tony for Lido Loca. Until next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye. Cruise news, cruise news, cruise news. It's over.